Welcome to Financial Modeling in Excel. My name's James, and I'll be your instructor today. In this tutorial, we're going to discuss the average, Averageif, and Averageifs formula. Many of you have probably used the average formula and feel pretty confident. However, not so many have used Averageif and ifs. Once you see how they work, you'll probably use them in models going forward. Good luck, and stay tuned. So let's take a look at the average formula. And right now I'm in the workbook named Data, in the worksheet named Sales. And right here we see column A is a set of dates, and column B is a set of sales that happened during that day. So let's take an average. And we're going to average, let's just say, the first 9 days of the year. So we're going to open up equals, open our parentheses, and we're just going to highlight the first 9 days of the year. We can close our parentheses, and that gives us the average of those 9 days. We can also take the average of the entire column. So we can do the same thing. We're going to do equals average, and we can highlight the entire column by selecting the gray area on B and hit enter, and that'll give us the column average. Next, we'll take a look at the Averageif formula. And now, let's take a look at the Averageif command. The Averageif command is going to create an average, but based on a certain criteria. So in this case, we have our sales by day. Well, what if we wanted to organize them by day of the week? So we're going to use a new formula here. Let's call this column day. So in C1, we're going to type in day, and then we're going to type equals weekday. And this is going to tell us, if we highlight A1, what day of the week that this date appeared on. So in the case of the United States, the week starts with Sunday. Other parts of the world, it may start on Monday. So Sunday will equal 1, Tuesday will be a 3, Friday will be a 6, and then Saturday will be a 7, and all the different numbers in between. So we see 6, that is equal to Friday. And we can copy and paste that all the way down just by clicking the lower right corner, and that'll go all the way down, and obviously gives a range between 1 and 7. So in this case, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And if we wanted to take an average based on the day of the week, this is how we would do it. Equals average. Now if, open our parentheses. Now the range. The range is what we're trying to identify our number in. So we're going to highlight, in this case, column C, because we're trying to average based on the day of the week, comma, and what's our criteria? In this case, it's 1. We're looking for all days of the week that begin with 1. This would be our Sunday. And then what do we want to average? In this case, we want to average what our sales were, and that would be column B. And if we hit enter, that'll give us the average for that day of the week. Now I cannot copy this over. As you see, if I copy it over, it's going to give me an error. So we're going to undo that. And that is because we don't want these columns to move. We don't mind if this cell moves, but we don't want columns B and C to move. So we're going to enter a $sign between C and B and hit enter. And that'll keep those columns from moving over. And now we can copy across. And in this particular case, if we were, for instance, scheduling and we saw how many sales came in for a particular day of the week, we would notice that Friday was very, very low. That was our lowest day of the week. And that Saturday would be our highest day of the week for this range. Next, we'll take a look at the SUMIFs formula, and that will tell us an average based on more than one criteria. Now, let's take a look at the Averageifs formula. The Averageifs formula is used when we want to average a group of cells based on more than one criteria. So let's look at our spreadsheet. So here, this is going back from what we did with the sum if command, I have the days of the week across the top. Now let's look at another criteria, and we're going to go with month. So we're going to use the month formula, equals month, and reference the day. So this is A2. Hit enter, and then we could copy that down. And as you will see, it'll show, this formula will show what month it is in the year. 1 for January, 2 for February, and so on. With this calendar, I've gone all the way, if I go slide down here, I've gone all the way through September. So let's take a look from 1 to 9. So we're going to scroll back up. So I'm going to insert a row here to keep it clean. So now we're just going to, in this case, drag this down until we get to 9. Excellent. So this is days of the week, and then this will be month. Excellent. And then we'll insert one more column here. So in this cell, what I'm trying to do is create an average for Sunday in January. So it's going to average all the Sundays that occurred in January. Those are the two criteria, month and day of the week. So first, let's go ahead and begin with Averageifs. And the ifs because it uses more than one criteria. So what do I want to average? Well, we know I want to average column B, comma, criteria range 1. So where's the first criteria? We're going to use days of the week. Where do I find those? Column C. And then what is the criteria? And we're going to click on cell H4. Excellent. And another comma. And let's find the next criteria range. And that's going to be column D, as that's going to be indicating which month of the year. Comma. And what's the criteria? Right there, the number 1. Close my parentheses and hit enter. And that is going to give me the average for every Sunday in January. Now, we cannot copy this formula because it's going to give us errors. Because every time we moved over, it moved these columns. So let's undo, and let's add some dollar signs here. So we know first off the columns don't want to move, so we're going to BB, C, and C. Excellent. Now, when I copy down, I want this cell to move, and I want this cell to stay straight. So we're going to lock the 4. And in the case of G, we're going to lock the G and D and D. So this way, cell G5 will move down but not across, and cell H4 will move across but not down. And if we hit enter, this we should be able to copy across. And there we go. Excellent. And those are the averages based on every day of the week for the 9 months of data that are given in this spreadsheet. This could be used for forecasting, for scheduling, a number of different corporate activities. And that is the sum ifs formula.